Actually, no, I changed my mind. If you've got two blocks or a bolster or pillows, grab them, maybe a foam roller, and we'll actually start on our backs. Maybe you've been sitting all day, maybe you've been on your feet all day. Either way, let's just open up through the front of the body. And so I've just got my blocks set up kind of like a T shape. This lower arm to support my back, this top arm to support my head. If you want a little bit more in your back, I sometimes like to put this back support on the second height. Once you get comfortable, and if you're just using a bolster, then maybe your hips are on the bolster, maybe they're not. There's a lot of options. Legs can be straight, bent, arms can be out to the side. You should really feel a nice chest stretch here. And just start to get heavy through your body. Noticing your body. Seeing how it feels free from judgment. Notice any areas of warmth or coolness. Any areas of strength or weakness. Perhaps areas of tightness or openness. Relax the area around your jaw and your eyes. Starting to slow your breath. Feeling the pressure, the support of the mat, the floor, the blocks, your bolster, whatever you might have underneath you. Your eyes can be closed, or if that makes you too sleepy, keeping them open and just letting your gaze. Again, striving to keep the gaze focused so as to keep the mind more focused. Continue to deepen your breath. Imagine the fresh oxygen flowing to every part of your body, down to your toes, out through your fingers, and up to the crown of your head. Start to now envision that air as invigorating, providing every cell with energy and vigor. Waking everything up within the body. Providing your body with all the energy it needs. As you continue to visualize, focus on that. Slowly start to make your way up. You can roll off to your side into a fetal position, or maybe you tuck your chin towards your chest. Use your forearms, your hands to come up. Come to a seated position. Now reclose your eyes or set your gaze 2 or 3 feet in front of you. Hands can go wherever they settle. Keep breathing deeply, waking everything up in your body. Growing a little taller out through the crown of the head. Sitting a little bit more firmly into the mat. Those opposing forces. Starting to implement slight head circles. Maybe you just start with a half circle through the front region. Your chin comes to your chest, right ear to right shoulder, and then over to the other side. Moving as slowly as you want. Bring your chin to your chest. Hold it there. Feel the stretch down your spine. You can stay right there, or you can start to round one vertebrae at a time. This doesn't have to be deep, so stop wherever you want to, and then round back up. Bring your gaze straight ahead. Let's do that one more time. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. Maybe stop there. Maybe you round through just a few vertebrae, maybe a couple more. And then slowly come all the way back up. Let's roll out the shoulders just in the seated position. Rolling them backwards. And then rolling them forwards. Bring the hands out in front of you, flexing through the palms, trying to pull your fingers towards your face. Spread the fingers wide, wide, wide. And then squeeze, making as tight a fist as you can, while still pulling the knuckles back towards your face. Release through the fingers, spread everything wide, really feel into it. And then make that tight fist again. And now we're going to speed it up. Extending and contracting. Warming up into the forearms, into the hands, the wrists. Today's class is going to be pretty basic. I might throw in some challenges here and there. As always, make this class what you want it to be. You can make it as gentle or as challenging as you want. Everything I give are simply guides and cues. If something doesn't feel right in your body, make slow, mindful adjustments until it feels good. Once it feels good, that means you're doing it right, regardless of what it looks like compared to what I'm doing. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake it out. And let's come on to hands and knees, tabletop position. We'll start with cat-cows and build off of there and eventually work to some rolling downward facing dogs. So these will all be progressions. And if you want something very gentle, you're more than welcome to stay in this tabletop position rather than coming into downward facing dog. So let's inhale, lift the chest, let the belly get heavy. Exhale, pulling the belly button in towards the spine, rounding through the upper back, tucking the chin in towards the chest, the tailbone tucks under. Inhale. For cow pose, you can even isometrically try to pull your hands in towards your knees here, just for a different sensation. Exhale, round for cat. Same thing here, isometrically try to pull your hands towards your knees, and especially in this one, you'll really feel your core engaged. Inhale for cow. You can play around with your shoulder blades. You can retract them. And then flare them out, just to see how it feels. Notice what you do with your shoulder blades in this cow pose. And the next exhale, coming into cat pose again. Let's do that one more time. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. From here, just rock back and forth, kind of from a child's pose. You can shift your hands forward into just a very gentle upward facing dog. So you don't have to come that far. If you need more padding under your knees, you're more than welcome to fold up your mat or grab pillows, whatever might help you. One of the key points of yoga is to unify our movement with our breath. But obviously, we're all going to be exerting ourselves at different levels. So if you find your breath kind of gets away from you, or you just need to go at your own pace, a general rule I like to, and it won't apply to everything, keep going with the upward face or the up dog and the child's pose. But a general rule I like to try to remember with breathing, especially when I can't keep with the teacher's cues, is that when you're getting smaller in your body, that's a good time to exhale. So you're getting smaller, you're pushing all the air out, which makes sense. And then so for child's pose, we're making everything smaller. It makes sense to push the air out here. And then as we're expanding through the chest, now is a good time to inhale. So again, that's just whenever you need to do some self-guided breathing and you're not sure when you should be inhaling or exhaling. Not all poses will be as clear as this, but it's a good general rule of thumb to remember. Inhale here, maybe you get your head into the mix, maybe you play around with your shoulders here too. Shrug and pull the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, pull the hips back, keep this active, really reach through the fingers, get the elbows up off of the mat. Inhale forward. Tuck the tailbone down when we're in that gentle upward facing dog. Exhale, bring it back. You're more than welcome to stick with that or tabletop. Or you can tuck your toes, cover the knees just for a moment, start to engage through the core. And then keeping a generous bend in your knees, bring your rib cage towards your thighs. As close as you can get them, trying to get your ears between your biceps. Again, it may not happen that easily for you. Those are just points that you're working towards. Once you got your rib cage as close to your thighs as possible, hug the lower ribs in if they're flaring out, and then start to straighten the legs, even if it's just a millimeter. The heels might melt down a little bit closer towards the mat. You can also think about flexing through your feet by engaging the front line of the body. It helps to open up the back line. Shrug the shoulders here, really push the mat away. Shrug so hard and come onto the right fingertips. Keep shrugging through that left shoulder. Lower those right fingertips down. Shrug as hard as you can through the right shoulder and come onto the left fingertips. Shrug through the left, coming onto the right fingertips. Shrug through the right, come onto the left fingertips. So subtle movements here, but it just really shows how hard you can shrug in this downward facing dog. Gripping through the hands, bringing some of the weight towards the fingers so that it's not too much in the wrists. Breathe here. On the inhale, we're going to tuck our chin in towards our chest. Come up high onto the toes and round one vertebrae at a time as we come forward into a plank. You may have to readjust your feet, like me, swivel them back. And then exhale, you can bend through the knees, lead with the tailbone, come back into your downward facing dog. Again, it might look like this. You might have that generous bend, that's okay. Bent knees can be your best friend. Let's do that again. Inhale. Come all the way into a plank. Exhale. Pull it back. Inhale. Come forward. Once your shoulders are over your wrists, bend your knees, lead with your tailbone. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Lower down into the knees. Take a child's pose. Just give the arms a little rest as they get warmed up. You can take any movements here. Maybe walk your hands off to the right side. Get a nice left side body stretch. And then walking them off to the right for a nice side body stretch on this side. Sorry, off to the left. back through center. You can come to tabletop. Tuck the toes here. Even if you stayed with tabletop before, let's all come into this downward facing dog. And we're just going to walk the hands back. So again, you can have that generous bend in the knees. Hang out here, shake the head, yes and no, letting the neck go, let it relax. You can grab opposite elbows. What I've been liking doing for ragdoll is crossing my arms. It puts a little more weight, and I find I can ragdoll a little bit better. Just hang out here. Again, maybe you play around with straightening the legs 1 millimeter at a time, or maybe you stay exactly where you are. Focusing on rib cage to thighs. Next would be chest to knees, and lastly would be head to shins. But we're in no rush to get the head there. Take any other movements here, area that you might want, some gentle swaying.
Breathe. Like this. Breathe. Like this. Breathe.
Releasing the hands, and we're just gonna walk. Inchworm our way back. Come to a plank. We're just going to hold it for a moment. Squeeze everything. You can protract through the upper back. Squeeze through the legs, the glutes, the core, the chest. Steady your gaze. Breathe. If you come to a point where you just cannot hold it anymore, lower to your knees, but try to stay in it, even if it's a modified version. And let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to walk your feet towards your hands. Again, have that generous bend. Once you're at the top of the mat, reach your hands behind you. So again, we're doing rib cage to thighs, and then maybe we straighten out a little bit there. But again, as long as we feel stretched, that's all we're really after. From here, we're going to actively reach our hands back behind us, and you should feel your abdominals working to pull you. You'll fold a little bit deeper, and you're getting that core strength involved. Reach the hands. Picture someone's grabbing them and pulling you. From here, release. Let the core relax. Shake out the head. And then rounding up. One vertebrae at a time. Do it really slow so you can feel the posterior chain of those legs working. Stacking one vertebrae on top of the other. And the head comes up very last. Let's do a few sun salutations here. Let's quickly go through our posture, our strong foundation. Play around with the feet, lift up your toes, splay them wide, lower them down, starting with the baby toe, working your way towards the big toe. Notice the arch in your feet. Notice if you're standing more towards the balls of the feet, the heels of the feet, maybe to the outer edge or the inner edge of the feet. Trying to find that common ground along all four edges. Play around with lifting up the toes, maybe one more time. Lower them down. And then doing a body scan from the feet, which are grounding down, rooting into the mat. Up past the ankles, the shins, the calves, knees, thighs, hamstrings, glutes, hips, your entire core, the front and the back, the sides, all the way up. The upper back, the chest, the shoulders. Notice the arms. Coming up past the neck, all the way up the head. And as we come out the crown of the head, we imagine that rope and someone's pulling up on it as we grow a little bit taller. From here, let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, full generous bend in the knees. You can try to rip the mat apart with your feet to engage the glutes a little bit more. Inhale, half lift. Fingertips can graze the mat. They can be on your shin, whatever you please. Exhale, plant the palms. And we'll just step back for this first one. So taking it gentle, you're more than welcome to lower to your knees here. Otherwise, shift forward. Chaturanga, come all the way down. Untuck the toes. And let's inhale for a cobra. So we're not using the hands here. If you pick up the hands, nothing changes. We're tucking the tailbone down to protect the lower back. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. You can even reach your hands back behind you, similar to what we did in the forward fold. See if you can get a little bit more height. Exhale, fold. Let's tuck the toes. Come back into tabletop. And then downward facing dog. Walk it out a little bit here. You're welcome to find some movement or stillness. If you really like the side body stretches, pick up both heels, lower them off to one side. Back through center and to the other side. Square it up, shrug the shoulders. Let's inhale here. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, you can tiptoe or take a big step to the top of the mat, half lift, reach out through the crown of your head. Exhale, fold. Start to rip the mat apart with the feet. As we inhale, deep breath all the way up. Arms up overhead. Exhale, hands come through to heart center. Let's do that again a little bit quicker. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold, rip the mat apart with your feet, rib cage to thighs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Step back from your knees or full plank, chaturanga. Inhale, you can take a cobra or more of an upward facing dog here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, tiptoe or take a big step to the top of the mat, half lift. Exhale, fold, start ripping the mat apart with your feet. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands come through to heart center. Again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold, rib cage to thighs, rip the mat apart. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, chaturanga. Inhale. Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Inhale, tiptoe or a little jump to the top, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, hands come through to heart center. We're going to move on to Sun Salutation B. Taking a little drink break here. So we're going to start with chair pose. So this time we're going to sit down on the inhale. Let the fingertips graze the mat as we come into chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the palms. If you feel like jumping back, you're more than welcome to jump back into plank or straight into chaturanga. Otherwise, just step back, lower on the exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. I like to take a little step in with my left foot, and then inhale, right foot comes forward. Back foot is at a 45-degree angle. Warrior one. Exhale, plant the palms. Step that foot back. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. I like to take a little step forward with my right foot. Inhale, left foot forward, get it set up for warrior one. All the way up. Exhale, lower the hands, step it back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, bend the knees. Look forward. Inhale, hop or step, top of the mat, half lift. Exhale, fold. Get ready for chair. Inhale, sweep the arms up as the bum comes down. Exhale, hands come through to heart center as we stand. Let's do that again. Inhale, sweep the arms up for chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the palms, hop or step back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Get ready with the right foot. Inhale, step the right forward. Warrior one. Exhale, lower it down, step it back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Get ready for the other side. Inhale, left foot forward, warrior one. Back foot is at that 45-degree angle. Exhale, lower the hands, step it back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Let's work into the upper body a little bit. We're going to go into Dolphin Pose from here. And the gentle way to do so is to come down one forearm at a time. Bring the elbows a little bit closer than shoulder distance apart as you come down, because then they'll splay out a little bit. And that just keeps them from going too wide. The hands will naturally inch closer towards one another, but we're trying not to actively bring them together. Try to pull the hand through. If you're really tight in the shoulders, you might feel very far away, but again, it's just something to strive towards. Picture an instructor standing beside you and pulling up on your hips. So you're getting the length again through your spine. Let the heels melt a little bit closer towards the mat. Breathe. From here, slowly lower to the knees. Shift the hands forward, bring it set up for a forearm plank here. Elbows and hands are at shoulder distance apart. Again, hands will creep in a little bit, that's fine. And then rear roll onto the left forearm. Feet can be staggered to help with balance. Right arm cannot come up. You can always lower the bottom knee down for support as well. Lift through the hips so you're really engaging your left obliques here. Set your gaze wherever it feels good. Come back through to forearm plank. Hold it here. Come on to the right forearm as the left arm comes up. Again, modify, intensify as you see fit, or just stick with me. Lift through the hips. Feel the obliques working. And back through to forearm plank. Pull the hips back, and then you can walk the feet forward, coming back into Dolphin Pose. Pushing through the hands, you can come up one forearm at a time, or you can try coming up on both. It can feel awkward the first time you try that, so don't be deterred. Try again. Hanging out in down or facing dog. Shrug in through the shoulders. From here, bring the left foot more central as the right leg comes up for three-legged dog. Let's inhale the right leg forward. Step it through in Crescent Lunge so we're up on the back toes. Inhale, arms all the way up. This is a balancing pose. Take it slow. You can bring your hands to your hips. And we're just gonna lower the back knee down to just barely touch the mat, and then straightening it, keeping the front leg bent the whole time. Lower the back knee, straighten. Lower, straighten. Last one, lower, straighten. Stay right there. I'm just gonna turn so my back is not towards you. We're in crescent lunge with the right leg forward. We're gonna windmill the arms and come into warrior two. Front toes point towards the front of the mat. Back foot is parallel with the back of the mat, pushing through the knife edge of that back foot. And try to come down a little bit deeper. Find your depth, and once you're there, come out of it a little bit. That way we're working on both the openness and the strength of this pose. Reach the arms in opposite directions. Bring your gaze out past the right fingers. Pull the right knee so it's tracing more over the baby toe. Let's lower this right forearm down onto the knee. Left arm reaches overhead. Side angle. Stay there again. I'm just going to switch because we're going to come into a twist. So from the side angle pose, we're going to square everything up, come into more of our crescent lunge, lower the back knee all the way down. Bring the hands to the heart center. We're going to hook our left elbow on the outside of the right knee. This might be as much as you're able to hook. Otherwise, you can take this top hand, hold the right thigh, and you can shimmy the left arm down so you're getting the armpit closer to the knee. And then bring your hands back through to heart center. Push through the palms and look past the right shoulder. You're more than welcome to stay right here, or with the back toe tucked, you can pick up that back knee. Again, option to stay here, or maybe you open up the hands. Left hand comes down to the mat, right arm reaches up, your gaze can be up past the right thumb. Slowly lower everything down. Plant the hands, push them out away from you. Let your right knee fall off to the right side so you have more space. See if you can pick up that foot and bring it back to a three-legged dog. Keeping the shoulders square, let's open up through the hips. And you're more than welcome to stay right here. Or if you want to flip your dog, you can shift your weight forward a little bit. Slowly swivel on that left foot as the right foot gently touches behind you. Hips, chest, reach up towards the ceiling. Set your gaze where it feels good for you. Everyone coming back to the three-legged dog. Lower that leg down as the left leg comes up. Three-legged dog. Next inhale. Let's step this left foot forward. Get your balance and your bearings. Bring the arms all the way up for crescent lunge. We're up high on that back toe. Bring the hands to your hips. Let's lower the back knee to just touch the mat and then lift it up. Front knee stays bent the whole time. Lower. Lift. Lower. Lift. Last one, lower. Lift. Let's inhale. Windmill the arms. Coming into warrior two. So again, pressing through the knife edge of the back foot. Arms are reaching in opposite directions. Find your depth, and once you're there, come out of it just a touch. Set your gaze. Pull that left knee to trace more towards the front baby toe. Let's lower the left elbow down onto the left knee. Reach the right arm overhead. Gaze can be up past the right arm. Side angle pose. Lower the hands down, square everything up. So again, we're in a low lunge, a low crescent lunge, and then we lower the back knee down. Bring the torso upright, hands come through to heart center as we hook the right elbow on the outside of the left knee. You can take the top left hand, hold the left thigh, and try to shimmy the armpit down closer towards the knee. Bring the hands back through the heart center, push through the palms to try to get the hands even closer to heart center. Bring the gaze past the left shoulder. Again, you can stay here, or taking it slow, you can pick up that back knee, and then maybe even lower, right arm down, left arm up, gaze is out past the left thumb. Slowly unravel. Come to frame the left foot. Let your left knee drop to the outside. Push the mat away from you. Engage your core. See if you can pick up that left foot. Again, even if you can't, we're just striving towards something. We're still going to build strength, even if we just think about doing something and do our darndest. From here, keeping the shoulders square, you can open up through the left hip. More than welcome to stay right here. If you want to flip your dog, shift forward a little bit. Swivel on the back foot, or the right planted foot, as the left foot touches gently behind you. Hips, chest, reach up towards the ceiling. Lower the gaze as you unflip yourself. Three-legged dog. Lower the leg. Downward facing dog. Let's inhale here. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Let's walk the hands back towards the feet. Hang out ragdoll just for another moment. Remembering the generous bend in our knees, thinking about bringing our rib cage to our thighs. Releasing the arms, we're going to round up again, one vertebrae at a time, slowly. Feel the muscles working to bring your body upright. I'm just going to do a little bit of balance work here before we get to some floor stretches. Start with your hands on your hips. I'm just going to take a little drink breaks, all right? Start at the back of the mat. Hands are on your hips. We're going to start with our right leg. Take a little step forward, and then bring the left knee in towards the chest. Bring it as high as you can. And you can either grab from the knee with the hands, maybe you can wrap the arms around, reach for the opposite elbows. Again, just work with where you are, what you've got. Excuse me. From here, slowly release that. Bring the heel towards the bum. Reach back for the foot. Maybe you can't reach at that spine. You can use hamstring strength here and try to squeeze the heel towards your bum. If you can grab the ankle with the left hand. Oh, I almost lost my balance there. And you're just pulling your heel in towards your bum. Tuck your tailbone down. Try to bring your knees as close together as possible. I'm just feeling a nice left hip flexor, psoas, quad stretch here. While also working on your balance. If your balance is very elusive today, then just focus on your balance. Keep your toe close down. See if you can pick it up a little bit. Otherwise, stay with me in this stretch. Release the ankle if you've got it. Reach the hands back, open through the chest. Keep squeezing the heel in towards the bum as we start to hinge forward. Kind of for an active dancer's pose here. Try to kick the foot up towards the ceiling more. Lift the chest, reach back. Slowly come all the way up. Take a step forward on your left foot. Let's bring our right foot to get set up for tree pose. So a few options here. I'm just going to turn so you can see. Toe can stay in contact with the mat with the heel resting against the inside of the left ankle. This is if your balance is really off. If you're feeling okay, you can bring your foot to the calf. And if you're able to get it there, you can bring the foot into the inner thigh. I just ask that you avoid the knees. You're either above or below it. You can keep your hands on your hips. Again, steady your gaze. It will help steady your mind and your body. If you want a little bit more here, you can interlock all 10 fingers. Extend the palms straight out in front of you, moving slowly, breathing deeply. And then maybe even extend the palms up towards the ceiling, reaching the palms up. Slowly release the hands down. See if you can release the foot with control. And then take one more step forward on your right foot. Left knee comes up again, not all the way into our chest. We just want our thigh parallel here. Now you're more than welcome to stay here. Notice the standing leg. We want it strong and straight. So you might just be working this progression. If this feels solid, you can hinge forward and interlock all 10 fingers underneath that left foot. Check in with the standing leg. Is it straight and strong, or did it develop a bend? If not, and you want to go further, you can start to straighten through the left leg. Depending on your hamstring flexibility, you might not straighten that much, that's fine. But maybe one day, that left leg comes parallel with the mat. Holding steady. And slowly releasing. Turn around on your mat. We're going to do the same thing, starting on the left foot. Working our way back to the bottom of the mat. Hands on your hips. Let's take a step forward on the left foot, bringing the right knee high and towards the chest. Maybe you grab the knee with the hands. Maybe you wrap the forearms around and grab for opposite elbows. Slowly release. And bring the right heel in towards your bum. You can reach the hands behind you if you can't grab the ankle, and just use strength, building up hamstring and a bit of glute strength by pulling the heel in towards your bum. Or if you can get the ankle with the right hand this time, bring the knees as close together to touch as possible. Pull the heel in towards your bum as you tuck the tailbone down. You should feel the stretch in the right quad, hip flexor, psoas. Again, if your balance is off, just focus on balancing by barely lifting the toes off the mat and disregard everything else. Slowly release, but keep the heel squeezing towards the bum. Reach the arms back behind you, open through the chest as we start to hinge forward for this active dancers. Lift the foot up towards the ceiling a little bit higher. Reach the hands back, keep the chest lifted. Slowly come out. Take a little step forward on the right foot. Again, I'm just turning for tree pose here. Do whatever you did on the other side. Maybe the left toes stay in contact with the mat. Maybe they come to the calf. Maybe they come up into the inner thigh. Once you feel steady, and if you want more, interlock all 10 fingers this time with opposite thumb on top. If you can't remember, it's usually the one that just feels a little bit more awkward. And then we can extend the palms out in front of us. And then maybe even reach the arms up overhead. Reach the palms up, growing a little bit taller. slowly release the arms down. See if you can release the foot with control. Take that last step forward on the left foot. Bring the right thigh parallel with the mat. And again, you're more than welcome to stay here. Check in with the left leg. Is it strong and straight? If so, you can start to hinge. Interlock all 10 fingers underneath the right foot. Check in with that left standing leg again. And then maybe we start to straighten, maybe only a little bit. And then maybe one day, bring the leg parallel with the mat. Stay focused and determined. And slowly coming out of it. Turning around again. And we'll just fold forward here, just gently. Nothing fancy, nothing crazy. And walk the hands out in front of us. We're going to do one more plank hold, but this one's going to be an extended plank. So I like to bring my feet all the way to the very back of my mat. This one is easier if you've got a grippy mat. So if you've got a slippery mat, you might not be coming as extended. Become as extended as you can. So you want your wrists as far in front of your shoulders as possible. Tuck the tailbone and hold. Squeeze everything in towards the midline. Convincing yourself that you can hold it longer than you think you can. If you get to the point of muscle failure where you feel like you're going to collapse, then just before you do, try to gently lower to your knees, otherwise stick with it. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower one leg down and then the other. Just bringing the feet out in front of you. Let's start with another quad stretch. So we're going to do a half fixed firm hero's pose. So starting with the right leg, I'm going to bring the right foot, bend through the right leg, so my foot is coming just to the outside of my right hip. If you have any tremendous pain in your knee, you can try letting your knee splay out to the side a little bit, or maybe you completely omit this one. But I find the half fixed firm is a lot more gentle on the knee. It looks like a lot, but it's not as much as it looks like unless you have some pre-existing knee issues. Then you can stay right here. Maybe you feel a stretch. You can also put something underneath your knee as well, like a block, a pillow, rolled up sweater. If you're not feeling much of the stretch here, well, if you are, then stay right here. If you want a little bit more, bend through the left leg and start to hinge back and take it slow. Maybe you hang out here. You can tuck the tailbone, even right here. You should be able, when you actually actively tuck the tailbone under, you should feel more of a stretch in the front of the leg there. And then maybe come down to the forearms. Tuck the tailbone under even more. Try to keep the knee down in contact with the mat. If you don't have it, lift it up on something. And then maybe you want even more and you can come all the way back. So it depends on the quad. Flexibility. Again, we're not worried about what the pose looks like. What we're worried about is getting a stretch in the front of this right leg. Wherever you are, tucking the pelvis a little bit under. The knee will lift up a little bit. So at the same time, we're going to pull the knee down gently and just feeling that glorious stretch. You can use this left foot as leverage as well to tuck a little bit more through the pelvis. Bring your hands wherever feels comfortable, cactus arms, T arms, down by your side, whatever you like. Just getting comfortable. If ever you feel like you've come too far into a pose, just ease out of it into one of the earlier progressions that we did rather than coming all the way out of it. Any poses that are very intense for you, recognizing what's going on in our minds. If we're having negative thoughts, our bodies are going to associate those negative emotions with the pose and therefore be less receptive to it, and we won't progress as much. So just changing the narrative in our minds. If there is anything we're not too fond of, just recognizing the benefit that we're receiving by simply doing it. And again, simply by associating those positive thoughts and emotions with it, our body will open up to it that much more. Now wherever you are, if you're down, tucking the chin towards the chest, gently working your way up. Release that leg, give it a little gentle shake. And then we're going to do the other side. So bending through the left leg, the foot is just on the outside of the hip. Maybe the knee comes a little bit wider if that feels better for you in your knee. Maybe it lifts up on something. If you are propping your knee up on something, then you typically shouldn't have to come back. The first progression would be your knee up on something you're swaying off to the side. The next one would be bringing more central and lowering it down. And then once you're here, if you need more of a stretch, that's when you start to hinge back. You can bend up this right leg because you can use some leverage to lift up a little bit to tuck the tailbone under. Keep the left knee in contact with the mat. Maybe you need a little bit more. Maybe you let your body get used to this before moving anymore. And we're in no rush. Wherever you are, keep gluing that knee down towards the mat as you tuck your tailbone under a little bit more, feeling that stretch along the front of the left leg. You're more than welcome to make any minor adjustments while you're in the pose. Just do it mindfully. If you're really at your depth, come out of it a little bit before you make any adjustments. Holding strong, just a little bit longer. Tucking the chin in towards the chest. Inhale all the way down. And slowly coming up. We've got about 5 minutes left in class. So you're more than welcome to take any pose here that your body may be yearning for. I recommend doing something supine on your back. Maybe it's a happy baby. Maybe it's more of a hamstring stretch. Maybe it's a spinal twist. Both knees can fall to one side. If you want something for your hips, I recommend a figure 4.
That covers a lot of different varieties, so do what you'd like. If you're doing something unilateral, I'll let you know when to switch. Switching sides. And then when you're ready, slowly releasing into your version of final Shavasana. Arms and legs can be extended, bringing them a little bit wider. Or if that's too much on your lower back, you can keep the legs bent to bring the feet the width of your mat or wider. Let the knees fall in on one another. I always like to bring in some external shoulder rotation with cactus or goalpost arms. And again, setting yourself up as you see fit, closing out the eyes, breathing deeply. Noticing how the body feels now. Noticing how the mind feels now. Recognizing that if you do feel calmer, more at peace, that a yoga practice is just temporary, it can wear off. Thus the importance of implementing time for this every day. Taking your daily dose of peaceful medicine to the best of your ability. With every inhale, feel your body get a little bit lighter, floating up off the mat ever so slightly. And every exhale, as the lungs deflate, gently sink down into the mat and the floor. Inhale to gently rise. Again, just visualizing it. Exhale to sink a little bit down into the floor. Inhale. Your body gets light. Exhale. As it gently gets heavier. Keeping with that thought and that breath for as long as you please. And I'll be closing out class there. I thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, you can reach out anytime. Otherwise, I hope you have a great evening. Namaste.